Okay, so every golfer out there has made a golf swing where they thought they did something different, meaning they thought they did what they were trying to do. And then they saw a video and they're like, that's not what I tried to do. It was what I used to do. Why didn't I do what I thought I did? Right? This is what's happening in the brain. There's these neural networks, and basically for your motor skills of golf, there's like a default neural network that you have in place when you came to see me, right? Now we're in the process of trying to change that neuron pattern or neuron chain, right? And so what happens is when you're going through what's called conscious competence, which is consciously doing something different than you were doing before, you're trying to hit the new neuron chain. Now, what happens though is if you go really fast and your brain doesn't have time to process the difference between what you were doing before and what you're trying to do now, it just runs the old program because it's easy. It's the path of least resistance. It's the easiest thing it can do in such a short time with things going so fast. So that's why there's something called stop action when you're practicing your golf, where you want to do things slow so that, because see, that what's interesting about the neurons in the brain is if you go slow or fast, you can hit the same neurons. It doesn't matter. The speed is irrelevant in a way. But the thing about the speed is if you're not hitting the right neuron pattern, you must slow things down to be hitting the right neuron pattern. And then if you are hitting the correct neuron pattern, then you should actually try and speed up only a little bit, like 5% or 10% more, not jump to 100% effort. Because again, if you go from, let's say, 10% speed to 100% speed, we know what's going to happen. The brain's going to run the old program. So that means for us to get through these downswing adjustments or changes that we're trying to make, you're going to need to be doing slow motion stuff to get your body the neuron reps, if you will, so that you do enough reps of the new neuron pattern to where then your brain can make a distinction between what it was doing before and what it wants to do now. And then there's something called this thiel neuron that actually then switches to then make the new neuron chain the default, so that when you go fast, the default thing happens, not the old thing. And so that's what we're up against. The problem is if you go fast and you swing at 100% the whole time, even if you try and think of whatever, your brain and body is just going to keep running that old program.
Yeah.
So here in a moment, we're going to go through slow action of the right motion, and we're just going to ratchet up. Tiger Woods, he used to take a 7-iron and hit, making a full swing and send the ball only 10 yards away from him with a full swing. Then he would do the next one and hit it 20 yards with a full swing. Then 30, then 40. Then he did this with Butch Harmon, and he went all the way out to 180 yards with his 7-iron by 10-yard increments, making a full golf swing each time. And so this full swing but not send it full distance thing is a great way to practice the correct motion, as you'll see in just a moment.
Yeah, because I thought I